Hello everyone, so we are back after a break. We had an amazing vacation back in India and I was too busy to upload any videos. We are a family of 500 now. Thank you all for the love and support that you all have given me so far. Today we'll talk about a very important topic as a gentle reminder for myself and everybody else watching this video, which is toddler tantrums. I'm sure everybody who has taken care of a toddler might have found this part of toddlerhood very difficult to handle and very frustrating even. Let me begin with saying tantrums are very normal for a child between the ages 1 and 5. Children grow out of tantrums when they can express themselves more clearly and when they grow to be more in control of their own feelings. But the way we deal with them when they do occur is carried a long way through their lives. Tantrums are emotional outbursts that are typically characterized by crying, violence, stubbornness, screaming, breath holding, etc., and are usually a result of the child not being able to effectively express himself or herself verbally, which leads to intense frustration. It is a child's way of expressing himself or herself. Tantrums could also result from a desire to be in control of a particular situation or to be independent, like a child might feel he can do it all by himself, but then in reality he is not yet capable of doing it independently. It might lead to frustration and cause a meltdown. It sometimes can happen for what we consider mere reasons, but they are indeed a great deal to the child. It may happen when the child is hungry, tired, or uncomfortable. It can also be due to an unmet need, for example, not being able to get a particular toy or a parent's presence or being asked to sleep when they want to play. So now that we know why tantrums occur, is there any way to prevent them from happening? Let's see. I've mentioned a few of these points in the positive discipline video I did earlier. I'll add a few more here. Give toddlers control whenever possible. Let them choose what to wear, what to play, and when to do things as much as possible. Let the child wear his shoes by himself even if it takes an extra 5 minutes for you to get out. Offering choices and letting them take the decision help them feel in control and independent. Instead of asking questions that could easily be rejected with a no, twist it slightly in a way that gives control to the child. Like instead of asking, "Are you not going to brush your teeth now?" you could be asking, "Do you want to brush your teeth before we make the bed or after?" Have knowledge of what might cause a tantrum and be prepared. If you know your child hasn't gotten proper sleep, be prepared for a meltdown later during the day so that you know how to react and also how to prevent it from occurring. You could avoid getting out in the crowd on such days. Be aware of what makes your child most vulnerable to a meltdown. If you know your child is usually fussy when it's time to get ready to go out, devote an extra 15 minutes to get ready so that you can slow down and support your child. If it is leaving the park that makes your child lose control, then think of ways you can make it easier for your child, like maybe talking of something interesting to do after reaching home. Also be aware of situations that require extra empathy or attention, like starting a daycare, toilet training, weaning, sleep training, etc. If you're traveling, make sure you're carrying healthy snacks and toys with you. If you have to wait in a long queue, carry something along to entertain your child. Provide prior warnings so that the child knows what to expect next. In the earlier mentioned situation, if your child usually creates a scene when he or she has to leave the park, mention it 5 to 10 minutes before you actually have to leave. You could say, "We have 10 more minutes to play and then we'll go home, take a shower and have your favorite snack or dinner." Having a routine helps the child to know what usually comes next. Redirecting works easily for young toddlers with short attention span. If they are crying for a toy they can't have, you could try distracting them with something else that might catch their attention. Try providing alternative solutions. For example, if your child says she wants to get out and it's really cold outside, you could say, "Let's try a new game at home today." Say yes as much as possible. If your child wants to play 5 minutes more in the park, it's okay. Let her play. If she wants to wear red shoes instead of blue shoes that go with her dress, that's okay too. Reserve the no's for very needful situations so that the child knows when you say no, it's not really good to do that. This way, they are less likely to throw a tantrum. Now, even if you try your level best to prevent them from occurring, tantrums can happen from time to time. Let's now look at what to do when your child actually goes through a tantrum. First and foremost, be present with your child. Do not leave your child alone during a tantrum. How would you feel if your partner leaves you in a room and let you cry alone when you're actually trying to communicate something with him or her? It's the same with your child. They need us. When you try to stop a tantrum while it is happening, it might result in the event lasting longer. Let them pour in their feelings. Let them scream and cry. It's okay. Just stay there with them and let them know that you are listening to them and watching them and you are there to support. Just be there and stay calm and do not interfere. Logical explanations don't work during a tantrum. Whatever you try to say, they'll not hear you as they are totally out of control. Whatever happens, do not give in to the child's tantrums thinking it is one last time. The next time the screaming is going to be louder. Once they know they can get it by crying and acting out, they'll try the same the next time. Be as calm as you can while attending to the child. As the saying goes, when one is on fire, the other should be water. Hug the child if he or she lets you. The child will eventually come out of the episode and fall into your arms. If it is happening in a public place, bring them to a safe and quiet area. Try distracting if the tantrum is only beginning to take its form. If it is in full-fledged, try and move to a place where they can let out their feelings and be there for their support. Now let's look at what to do after a tantrum occurs. Acknowledge their feelings. You could say, I know it was very hard for you to feel that way, but do you feel alright now? Mom is there for you whatever happens. Now this is the time to give logical explanations. You could say, it's not possible for us to stay forever in the park. We have other things to do at home as well, but surely we can go again tomorrow if you want to. Or it could also be this. You can't have so many sweets in one day as it's not good for your stomach and your teeth. We can have a little every day. For older children, have a peace corner in the house and let them know that every time they feel upset, they could use this space and have some quiet time and could also take mom or dad in there if they want to. Set this place up in a very comforting way with the child's favorite calming toys or some books and pillows. So that was it for today everyone. If you liked the video, don't forget to click the like button and share it with your friends and family. And if you are new to this channel, do subscribe. Thanks for watching.